Chapter 13 Highs and Lows. Monica and I rushed to the hospital for delivery. We named our son Caesar. Our family was happy and my extended family even joined in the celebration. A sudden knock at the door startled us and made us turn around. The room fell silent. Monica then held the baby closer. I rushed to the door and prevented the old man from entering along with the young man behind him, and dragged him away from the room. Didn't I say not to bother us? How did you know what hospital we are in? A nice girl told us about my grandson. I sigh and Nicole immediately popped into my mind. We are just here to visit my sister. Her brother said. Save it. I heard you filed for bankruptcy and your house is now mortgaged to the bank. All right, we are here to ask for help. I took out my checkbook and slapped them with $50 million. The exact amount they settled for in my past life. Now get out of our lives. I went back to the room. My aunt asked, Adrian, who was that? I looked at Monica as she remained silent. I then said, they were just lost. I pointed them towards a nurse. I need to make a phone call, I'll just be outside all right. Sure. I then excused myself. I went to the stairwell and called Honey. What? That bitch told the old man what hospital we are in, that's what. You didn't give them money, did you? She asked. 50 million. You idiot. Everyone knows, you are not to give money to homeless people. They will just come to ask you for money again. She yelled. They were outside my wife's room. I had to get rid of them. Well, you're never going to get rid of them now. Are you going to help me or not? I yelled angrily. I can. But it will cost you 50 million. He said sarcastically. Why? I asked. Honey laughed and said, that's the price of your stupidity. You expect me to fix the mistake you made for free. I am not inconveniencing myself for you, dumbass. I close my eyes and sigh. Fine, but this counts as an investment towards your company. I better see the papers. Also, how long before the Smiths family go bankrupt? They are trying to get a business alliance through marriage. They are planning to marry Nicole off to an up-and-coming businessman, whose company hasn't even gone public yet. Do something about that, will you? Already did, oh, and your friends should be coming to you for help pretty soon. I might have done something to shake their business as a little bit. She laughed. Chapter 14 Fools. A few days later, Monica and I brought our son home. Welcome home, baby, Monica said as they walked through the door. As I handed the baby bag over to the maid to put away, my phone rang. The long-awaited phone call has finally came. A few days later the friends and I along with Nicole met at a bar after work. What? I asked as they looked at me seriously. Adrian, you have changed dramatically since you married Monica. I telling you, man. She is a bad influence to you. He is right, Adrian. Nicole agreed vehemently. I glanced to the side as another said. This is why we never liked her. Since you met her, you stopped listening to us. I smiled and said, she is my wife. Of course I would put her above you guys. What do you expect? My priorities have shifted. I have a family now. I'm responsible for them. You're lecturing me yet you haven't even married yet. They then fell silent. I then turned to Nicole and said, and you? Aren't you ashamed of going after a married man? You are acting like a low-grade secretary, who knows nothing than to seduce her boss in one of those TV dramas. I expect a daughter of a prominent family to be a bit more dignified. Instead you're flaunting yourself like a lonely high school graduate. Nicole bit her lip and said, Adrian, I know you regret marrying Monica. I'm the one you were supposed to marry. I'm far more suited to be your wife. If you had waited until I finished up my studies abroad, I would have been your wife by now. I laughed and chuckled, which surprised them. I then laughed and said, I never thought that you let those childish fantasy go into your head. I never said I love, much less said want to marry you, Nicole. That was you and them. I said as I pointed to the friends behind her. I then added, oh, and you are not better than Monica. Unlike you, she actually got into MIT without her parents' money. Come on, Nicole, we all know you wouldn't have gotten into any universities without your parents. Yet you are so full of yourself that you went abroad right after high school. In the end, you only managed to get an associate certificate. 4 years and not even a bachelor. Monica was a valid Victorian. However, I do admit to feeling a bit guilty that I stopped her from getting her master's. Oh, well. As long as she is happy, she won't regret ever choosing me. She can always get it in the future, I said as I walked away. Chapter 15: The Dreaded Return. Before I walked out the door, I said to Nicole and the others, "Oh, and don't think of asking me for help in the future. Or even think of using any other means to bother us like Monica's family. I already had them taken care of. A lot of things happened within 2 years. After that day we were no longer friends, just business acquaintances. Without my help, my friends couldn't take over their family business, it fell into the hands of their siblings. As for Nicole, her family on the verge of bankruptcy found a lifeline when they forced her to marry an up-and-coming businessman. Until this day they still hadn't figured out that all their business failures was due to me. You can keep the money, I said to Honey. I knew she was smiling at the other end. Are you sure you don't want any? It's a lot of money. Don't you even want to know how much? No. Keep the money. You need it more than me, don't you? Considering you're moving your company to the country. Thanks to my help. Honey's cybersecurity company made groundbreaking success in 2 years instead of 6 years. Her decision to move her company in the country was met with showering approval. The business community are all eager to do business with the rising star of the tech industry. I just want to ask you one thing. What's that? Why is my wife the one planning your homecoming? Come on, you should have been used to it by now. Monica will do whatever I ask. Don't forget she is also my employee. She is your marketing consultant and the president and head of your IT department. Not your secretary. Honey then said. It's called marketing, stupid. If Monica organizes the party herself, that's free advertising, right? I'm leveraging your name to get ahead. The same thing your Nicole and your friends has done for years. Remember them? Except I don't hide my intentions under the guise of friendship. I don't pretend to be nice to you. I plan to be a parasite in your life, sucking you dry for money. Our relationship is purely transactional, except my relationship with Monica. Quiver in fear. Now that the devil is 1 millimeter away from your wife's ear. You can try. I hang up the phone. As much as it pains me to admit, I don't prefer my symbiotic relationship with Honey, rather than the parasitic relationship I used to have with my friends and Nicole. Chapter 16: Honey's Return. Honey's homecoming party was grand with prominent families, CEOs, and business executives all in attendance. Honey walked up on stage to give her speech as everyone applauded. Thank you so much for welcoming me into your business community. It's been a hard road, but I've been very lucky. Aside from winning a grant at MIT, I also received a generous investment of upwards of $100 million from my friend's selfish husband. I know he just wants me to stop lecturing him. Anyway, today, I am presenting our marketing consultant, IT department head, and the president of my company, Monica Adams. May you stop setting things aside for your selfish husband. You could have gotten your master's degree with me, if you haven't married the selfish jerk beside you. Now he is compensating to clear his conscience by buying you shares and positions. Yet I still say he is a selfish jerk. I haven't been proven wrong yet. So don't hold your breath. Everyone, including Monica, awkwardly applauded Honey's speech with a smile. When Honey walked over, she asked, "You said I am the best person for the job. Now you're telling me that Adrian bought me the position. I would have given it to you regardless, but he did offer a shit ton of money. Who am I to say no to a god of capitalism?" Honey said as she drank her champagne. "There are people who wants to meet you," Monica said as she introduced Honey to my uncle and cousins and the rest of my family. Despite Honey's criticism of me, no one disagreed with her. Even more so when Monica started to work, she started closing deals left and right. Although she joined, Monica had flexible hours to stay home and take care of our son. When we invited Honey to have dinner with the rest of our family, she said, "Your son does nothing but eat, drink and sleep. What do you expect? He is only 3. I said to her, "As soon as he enters preschool, I want Monica to start working full-time, she said. Monica then said to her, Honey, all you ever do is work. Have you thought of getting married soon? She looked at my wife in disdain. If a man can play the field before finding someone to commit, I can do the same. Everyone smiled at Honey's answer.
Click like subscribe to be updated or click the playlist here.